what we've seen on film from the Browns?
Yeah, they're a very good defense. Kind of like our opponent last week. They're much better than their record indicates. It doesn't take long to turn on the film and you see their two edge rushers get after the quarterback, and they've done such a great job of mixing up their looks and bringing pressure. And whether it's safeties or linebackers that they're bringing, they do a great job of getting after the passer.
With a player like Myles Garrett, how does your preparation change when you're facing an edge rusher of that ability?
Yeah, he's someone that you have to be aware of whenever he's on the field, especially where he lines up. He's done such a great job of, they've asked him to do so many different things, left side, right side, inside, and he can do everything. He can drop into pass coverage, and he's a complete player, so you have to be aware of him. And it really starts with the protection plan, having a good week, being able to communicate, talk about every look that they could bring, what they might bring, and as long as we're moving in that direction, we're going to keep getting better.
Sunday it seemed like everyone was having a lot of fun offensively, celebrations and stuff like that. Does it feel like you guys are hitting a stride offensively off of that game or finding a groove?
I think it's always about getting better each week, taking a look at what you put on film and making sure that you're learning from your mistakes, your corrections. And I think we've done that. I think there's things that we've cleaned up each week, still a lot of room for improvement. Still things that we can clean up, but as long as we're learning from our mistakes, watching the film, getting better, and like you said, those guys having fun, I think our offense will go in the right trajectory.
Do you think you guys are closer to finding that identity you talked about?
Yeah, I think it's just something that fluctuates and happens from week to week, and kind of like I said, where if we throw the ball a bunch or if we have to run the ball a bunch, we're gonna do whatever we can to win the game. How we see that we need to win the game, and that's what we trust in those coaches upstairs, calling the plays and putting together a game plan for us to execute. And, all the work is done throughout the week so that we go out there on Sunday and just play free.
That play, the Saints game where you were in the end zone and you pushed it. You were in the safety, you pushed the ball. Like, did you see him come, or did you only see him as soon as you turned around, or can you kind of walk me through the process there, like what happened?
Yeah, on the play action fake, I kind of had a feeling that he was going to be upfield. I think it might have been Josh. It's a tough position to put a guy in, and he did his best, and I just have to do a better job of getting my head around, making sure that he's not even in a position to be able to touch me. But got the ball out, so we avoided a big play there.
During your camp, when you were going against this defense, at what point did you realize, maybe these guys can be one of the best in the league? Because right now, they're still leading the league in terms of points allowed.
Yeah, I think pretty early on. Just the way they communicated and the way they were flying around on the field, we knew how talented they were. But as soon as they started, playing together, we'd go out for walkthroughs and 7-on-7 and things like that. Simple things that we knew that they were playing as a unit, and that's rare, especially as a new defense early on in camp. So for them to pick it up so quickly and how well coached they are, we're not surprised to see that at all.
So was that different from previous games you've seen, or previous times you've gone against the defense here?
No, I've always thought very highly of our defense. We always have very talented players. We've had great scheme, and it's been fun to watch them so far this year. They've forced a lot of turnovers, came up with some big stops on third down. So, I've always thought very highly of our defense.
How much does that kind of take some of the burden away when the defense is only giving up 13 points? 2 touchdowns, and you've got the game.
Yeah, you said it just like that. As long as we're doing that, it's on us as an offense to be able to execute, convert on third down, and go score points in the red zone. And it makes our job a lot easier having a defense like that, where it's a field position battle where if you're flipping the field, then you're most likely going to get good field position on the next possession. So being smart and making sure that we're not turning over the ball and keeping our defense off the field, letting them relax and have as much rest as possible.
And do you have to Cam can kick it from distance, but do you have to kind of bear down a little bit more now, knowing you need touchdowns? Field goals are great, but you want touchdowns.
We just play the game the way it needs to be played. Whether it's if there's an open guy downfield, we're going to push it downfield, and we're going to be smart about the ball. We're not going to force it into windows, and you never want to make a bad play worse. And knowing that we've got a great kicker, that you want to be smart. You want to keep the points if you're in field goal range. If you're in the red zone, you don't want to lose points. You don't want to have a sack or turnover. So making sure that you're playing the position the right way, especially in the situation, is most important.
On both touchdowns to Ladd, you're kind of throwing into tighter windows, kind of contested catch situations, maybe sort of in one-on-one coverage. When you're making throws like that, how much of it is the individual player and like having the trust, like you did with Mike and with Keenan, to make a play when you're one-on-one, versus how much is you're just reading it out and that's where the ball should go?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is dependent on where the defender is. If it is a one-on-one situation like that and the defender's not looking, it makes it much easier on the quarterback because you just have to put the ball high and outside, and our guy can see it. He can react much easier than the defender has to turn all the way around, track the ball. And so I think in those situations where both completions to Ladd, he just made a great job, showing late hands. He sees the ball the entire way and doesn't let the defender know that it's coming. And so he doesn't have the opportunity to look around, make a play on it. And so I think Ladd did a great job with that. And then being able to, snatch the ball away, keep running, and be safe with it. I think that was very important too.
Yeah. But is does a receiver build trust? No. I'm just following up. Like you answered it exactly. But just when you make those throws into one-on-one coverage and he comes down with 2 of them in one game, you guys are obviously still in the early stages of your development. Does that build more trust to give him more of those opportunities moving forward, because he's proven that he can make plays in contested catch situations?
For sure. I think the good thing about those plays is those guys have come to expect, hey, this is where the ball's going to be. And as long as we're making plays like that and we continue to work and talk about it, they know that, hey, if I'm going to run my route and if it's not here, or if this defender's this place, this is where the ball's going to be. And so I do my job, I do my best at my job to put that ball where he's expecting it. And so on those back shoulders or on the ones where the defender's not looking, just making it easy on the receiver, knowing that he's running downfield, he's got so much to worry about that the ball's going to be high and outside. And I think Simi as well, he's done a great job with that too. The one that I thought, and I think everyone else thought he caught too, where the defender's not looking and Simi's he's running out of room, and the only spot that you can put is back shoulder, give him a shot to be able to kind of absorb it and step in bounds. But I think it's definitely something that you can work on, and those guys have gotten a lot better at as well.
And with DJ, it's getting closer here. You guys obviously have built up some sort of connection through OTAs and early training camp before you got hurt. When he's back, what does he bring to the offense?
Yeah, I think he's a very experienced receiver who's played a lot of ball, who's seen a lot of offense. I think he's a guy that's able to play at the X or the Z. We can ask him to play on both sides, and he's a physical receiver. He's very athletic, and he's one of those guys that goes up and gets the ball, and I think adds a lot of dimension to our offense. We thought really highly of him in camp, and especially in OTAs, and it's been a bummer. It's tough. Injuries are never fun, but he's been fighting to do everything he can to be back out on the field. So whether that looks like this week or next, he's going to give his best to be out there.
You're talking about the identity of this team and of the offense specifically, and you're just trying to do what the game needs you to do, whether pass or run. But how do you balance that identity with we're gonna do what we need to do versus we're gonna do what we want to do? Because isn't the identity is this is who we are instead of having to change all the time?
It's a great philosophical question. I think you go into a game and have an idea of what you want to do, of how you're going to attack certain coverages and certain fronts. And it's all open to change. The defense could come out and do something completely different, something they haven't shown. And that's when you have to adjust. And you have to rely on the stuff that you've done in camp, in OTAs, of our basic offensive stuff that, hey, this is good against anything, go through your reads, and we'll make it work. But at the same time, it is, hey, if we think we have to win a game by running it and doing certain looks, we're going to do that. We believe in our offensive line, our run game. And, at the same time, if we have to throw the ball and that's where I think having both of the run game, pass game, and then blending the two with the run-pass option, I think that's what makes our offense complete.
In your eyes, can flexibility itself be the identity?
It could be. Yeah, that's it definitely could be. It could be able to do everything, where it's, hey, we're going to run the ball this week, or, hey, we're going to throw the ball this week, and having both and making sure that, that is a threat in itself, where teams have to respect both. And if we can get to that point and we're rolling on offense, I think a lot of good things will happen.